without further ado, I'm going to put you in the hot seat now, Hayley. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to give a huge round of applause, please, to our LET Access Tour Ordinary winner, Hayley and Matthew. So I've written a couple of questions down here, and I'm sorry that we've got the cameras here and what have you, but we thought it might be nice to stick something on the Ferndown website, and we'll take all the bad bits out, I promise. Okay. And also, hopefully, our good friend Tony Husband at South Today might get to publish a bit from here too. So I'm going to ask you one or two questions, and the obvious one, and the first one is that, how did you get started? I mean, who actually got you into this crazy game in the first place?
Well, I think you've already heard a bit about who it might have been, but it was obviously my granddad. None of my family play golf really at all except granddad, so I think he sort of decided one of us, I have two sisters, so I think he was sort of like, okay, one of you will play golf. And I happened to be that person. And yeah, no, granddad got me into it. Went to, when it was Camp for May, they had the junior academy, so I went there for a year. Every Saturday, granddad would take me. And then, like Jenny said, joined Ferndown in 2003, and Grandad was the one to always bring me up here. And yeah, he got me into it and just took me everywhere. My mum's not the best golfer. I could say that because she doesn't play at all. Oh, so that's fine.
How good was Grandad? What's?
He was alright, I think. He hasn't played for a bit. I think he's sort of
12. Very good.
Okay,
very
so
good.
Not too bad. But I don't think he got to beat me much. He's here, so I can tell the truth. If he wasn't here, I'd say, yeah, my granddad's very good, but he's here, so I can tell him that I don't think he beat me. But he tried. No, it was good. I mean, I spent a lot of my time with Grandad from it, because I mean, like Scott said, every week we'd go. So yeah, no, Grandad was the one that got me into it and took me everywhere, and I think that's how everyone sort of knew me up here. It wasn't just Hayley, it was Hayley and there's her Grandad.
Yeah,
so
I love
think,
it.
Yeah,
lovely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely love it. But when did you realise that you had a bit of a special talent for it? You know, it wasn't just your average, you weren't going to be an average handicap golfer, you can be there's a special talent.
Yeah, well, sort of, when I was growing up, I just loved playing sports, sort of all sports, but golf I picked up quite quickly. And yeah, I mean, I just really enjoyed it. That was the main thing for me. I just I loved playing, and it was one of those things where when you start out at something, the more you work hard at it, the better you got. Not so much now, maybe sometimes you play, it's not always good, but from when I was younger, it's sort of like you do get better, you start to hit it further and stuff like that. And I think probably when I was like 14, when I was sort of in the England teams quite good, I thought, oh, maybe, I could get a good career out of this. So then it was sort of like thinking more long term. But yeah, I'll probably say like 14, 15.
And were you thinking at that stage club pro, or were you thinking tour pro? Were you? I mean, where were your sights at that point?
Yeah, no, it was always tour pro. It was sort of like at the time it was like Scott couldn't handle my swing, and I'll just go and play.
Yeah.
But it was always just playing. I'm not. I mean, everyone and mostly Scott would know that I'm not really a technical person myself. So it's sort of like always going to be. If I was going to do golf as a career, it was always going to be from playing. Yeah, yeah. That's the part of it that I enjoy. So yeah.
And one of the things that everybody in the club knows all about is that when you went off to Baylor, Waco is famous for all sorts of things in Texas, but it's obviously where Baylor University is, and the Baylor Bears, and you had a great time there. How did that all come about?
Well, growing up, I sort of always had the idea of going to school out there, and then when it came down to it, when I was sort of 16, 17, I sort of decided, no, it's not for me, I don't want to do it. And then like a year before I did go, I said to my mum, no, I do want to go now, and she was like, what? No, we've had this plan, I've researched everything, and now I've stopped researching, you told me no. And I was like, no, sorry mum, you're going to have to start again, I am going to go. So it was sort of like, okay, quickly email the coaches, find out what to do. So it all actually came around quite quick, which I think mum knows about. Right. For me, I was very relaxed, but I think mum was a bit stressed. But when I eventually, I was down to a couple of universities, went to Baylor, and I mean the school's just like, it's a private school, it's quite small because some of the unis out there are quite big. Okay. So as soon as I went out there, I sort of felt really at home. It was quite small, the coaches are really friendly, the place is nice, quite quiet.
They do it's a big thing of theirs, it's a Christian university and so on, isn't it? And,
yeah, and I mean, sport's so big out there, so that was a big thing for me, going from here out there. I mean, the facilities are amazing.
Did you enjoy it when you were there, homesick? Or, I mean, you seemed to do really well while you were out there.
Yeah, and I wasn't too bad, to be fair. I mean, going out there when I was 18, it was quite a big move. But I absolutely loved it, to be honest with you. It was quite nice to move away.
Well, we will be, for anybody watching this programme, we'll be offering family counselling.
Yeah, it might be a long drive home. But no, it was cool. I mean, walk home. I mean, my parents came out to visit me, and it's just not, like, for me, like, getting my school, getting a degree was quite big for me, because if I don't want to do golf for a long time, it's something I can fall back on, so it's always important for me to do it. And out there doing the school and the sport and the people around you that support you and help you through like everything is really good. So for me it was just a great experience. And
it's a completely different game out there in the States, isn't it? I mean, did you find it that way? I mean, we'll talk about the US Open a little bit later, but does it feel different playing in the States to playing in
yeah, definitely, because I mean, even in Europe you sort of go and grass is grass, it's the same thing. In America it's like you go from one place to the next place and they say, oh, this is bent grass, and you're like, I'm sorry, what, isn't it just grass? And they're like, no, this one's Bermuda, next week's bent. So sort of like things like that took a while to adapt to, because obviously like the greens and stuff like that is very different. But I was out there for 6 years in the end, so...
Wow, was it 6 years?
Yeah, because school took me 5 years and then played on the tour for 1 year, so... But you get used to it, like the different stuff, so no, it was really good. But
never had thoughts of trying to sort of set up a base and staying out there permanently?
I did it for 1 year, and then I just didn't feel like I was ready for it. I sort of wanted to come back and sort of try it this way after a little break when I did come back, to figure out whether it was what I wanted to do or not.
Sure.
But it wasn't at the time what I wanted to do to turn pro out there.
Did you feel your game was good then? Did you feel you were playing well? Was it, did you feel it was having a negative effect on your game if it wasn't right for you at the time?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because from being in college, I mean, it's great, but you sort of get used to being in a team and everything, so as soon as you turn pro, it's sort of like you're out there on your own. So I think for me it was quite hard being away from like my family and being away from the people that were there all the time. So I think it was stuff like that I didn't really expect. So at the start it sort of like affected my golf when I didn't even realise that it was something that I had to worry about. So it was quite a lot to change with that respect, like not having the team around you.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a good experience as a whole.
And obviously over here, and while you were here, you got to be good mates with Georgia Hall. And we're obviously hugely proud of Georgia and being Open champion and what have you. Are you still friends now? Do you still...
Yeah, we caught up. I mean, I saw her at the US Open. I mean, we have very different schedules now, so it's not like we see each other a lot, but I mean, I'll always be proud of her for everything that she's done. I mean, she grew up just like me, like round here, practicing, playing. But yeah, it's cool to see. I mean, it's amazing that she won the British Open. It's cool to see.
Is that an inspirational thing for you? Is that something that gets you excited about the game? And that's a great aspiration to have, isn't it? To win the Open and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be quite good. Next year, Hayley's British Open winner.
Come on, you can do it. So talking about those sort of moments, the ones that you remember and the ones you want to forget, what's your best ever round and worst ever round? Well, if you could actually mark down one round in particular, you think, yeah, okay, that's my favourite ever.
I mean, I always remember being in the Daily Telegraph in Abu Dhabi when I was 18. I think I did it 2 years, and I won it the year before, and I shot 8 under to win it a second year in a row. And that's the round that I always remember. I mean, this year in the Bossy, shooting, I don't even know what I shot anymore. I think I shot 5 under 2 days in a row, I think it was. But I mean, that was definitely up there, sort of, because I mean, I said I want to do it again, but then when you do it again, you're sort of like, oh, it actually happened. I mean, we all play golf, we go out there one day and it's not what we expect. So
There's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, so I mean, that's probably up there with one of the best rounds, to be honest.
And hole-in-one at Bossy.
That was cool.
What? Seen the hole-in-one ball up there?
Yeah.
That's absolutely. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was really cool. And Mum was there, and she said, "Hayley, please calm down. We still have to play." And then I always remember because I think I started off birdie, par, eagle from the hole-in-one or something, and the next hole I hit my shot and then I missed the short one in the bunker and I came out and Mum just looked at me and just thought, Hayley, we're halfway through a tournament, you've had a hole-in-one but you still need to do well. So I said, okay Mum, okay, I'll try. Well, I said I can't, forget about it.
I'll take for granted you didn't have to buy everybody a drink in the clubhouse.
No, luckily, I mean, I was at the practice range, so we weren't getting drinks, but yeah, I mean, it was cool.
I have got to ask, so we've done the best round, I have got to ask, come on, the worst round. So the worst, you think, oh, really?
Well, when I was I think it was I think my mum watched it, so she'll agree with me. When I was probably in tour school in the last round, and I knew I wasn't going to make the cut, So I was playing and my ball was getting, I mean, I used to tell Mum, my misses are the right side, please can you walk down the right side? And this tournament, she just thought, I don't know where I'm meant to be because it's going left, right. So
Hayley's mum.
Yeah. And the best bit was I was getting so annoyed at her that she wasn't in the right place. And her response was, Hayley, how am I supposed to be in the right place when every hole is going a different way? And I said, okay, Mum, fine. This time you're right.
To be fair, well, you know, if you don't know where the ball's going, how do you expect your mum to know?
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about the US Open, and because that's a really special thing, isn't it? After the success in France and all the rest of it, and then the invite to play the US Open.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Obviously, I thought I had a chance because I entered the qualifying and everything. But when I played it, I know I did it last year and there was 4 spots, I think it was. So going into the morning round, I played pretty good, but I knew I was 2 shots behind this year. And I thought, oh, it might be 4 or 5 spots to have a good chance. And then went in to do my scorecard at lunchtime, and there was a piece of paper that said 2 spots. And I was like, Mum. I'm sorry, my mum's always waved me quite a lot, so that's why I keep saying Mum. But I was like, Mum, it's 2 spots, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm going to try. And I'll try my hardest, Mum. And I did. And yeah, my putts kept going in and kept going in. And I thought I could see a leaderboard, but obviously there's only 2 spots, so you only see the 2, and they were like -6, -7. I think I was -3 or -4. So I thought, right, I mean, I've only got 6 holes left, but I'll keep trying. And then, I mean, the ball just kept going in the hole. I couldn't really understand it. I mean, even the caddy of my playing partner was a bit like, I don't know what's going on. Your ball was just like going. So yeah, and then, I don't know, I just ended up in a playoff, and then from there I was in the Open, and I was like, wow. I mean, it just hit me that I was like, I'm going to the US Open.
Incredible.
Even though I was playing in the qualifier for it, I wasn't like, I'm going to US Open. And then when I got the piece of paper, I was just, I mean, it's amazing. The whole experience was just amazing.
Extraordinary, isn't that wonderful? When you're out there and on tour, you know, you come under all the pressures, and we all know about the money pressures and everything, but you know, how do you cope with that? What are the best bits and the worst bits of being on tour? Is it the hotels or the people, or you know, what are the other girls like? You know, how is that? What's it like being out there on tour?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like you get to, I mean, I get to travel the world. I'm so lucky. I'm 26 and I've been loads of places. Get to see loads of really nice golf courses, met some great friends. There is definitely a good side to it. I love being home. I'm a big home person. I mean, I love being here and at home with my family. So that side of it I don't particularly like the most, because I mean, I come home for a day and then I'm like, I'm off again tomorrow, and I've got 2 nieces. They're like, oh, Hayley's home. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going tomorrow. Yeah. So I mean, it's not always like good, but I mean, you just get used to it, to be honest. It's sort of like the life I've chosen. So I do try and enjoy it a lot. I mean, to be honest with you, I could be in Australia and it didn't matter really where I am, because sometimes you go from the hotel to the golf course, from the hotel to the golf course, back to the airport. So even though it seems like I'm in a really cool country, maybe sometimes I don't actually, I could be anywhere, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But sometimes I do get to see some cool things. But yeah, like I say, I mean, I'm 26 and I've been so many places, met so many great people, so I would never say that it's terrible. I mean, it's a great experience that I get to have that a lot of people don't. So
yeah,
I'm very lucky for that. Yeah.
How are you feeling about next year? So you've smashed the lights out of the Access Tour. You know, we're all so incredibly proud of you. The one really good thing, and I'm sure that everyone in this room would have been looking at it, is that the LET is really good online. You know, that you can actually see everybody, what they're doing on a day-by-day basis, a hole-by-hole basis. You can see the shots you're playing. I think with all of us, certainly in this room, have got involved watching you as you're playing on the Access Tour. So next year then, full tour, how are you feeling?
Yeah, really good, to be honest. I mean, I'm just really excited that I finally got there. I mean, probably most of the people in this room has been through the journey with me when I joined here when I was 10 years old, and I mean, obviously the goal sort of always was to turn pro, and it's sort of like to be on the main tour, because obviously I want to like be with the best players.
Sure.
So I mean, the road's sort of been up and down, very up and down. But to finally get there is just really great. I mean, I'm so happy and I'm so lucky that I've got so many people that support me, so I'm able to do it, because I mean, there's certain times where I've sort of been like, this isn't for me anymore, I'm done, I've tried, I've done. but I keep coming back to it because I'm like, no, it is what I want. But I think sometimes you need time to really realise, is it what you want? Is it what you I mean, everything I do, I want to give 100% to. And I was getting to the point where I was sort of like not giving it my all, I was sort of not really there. So I needed some time away to sort of think, is this what I want? And it was, and I sort of made the mind up a couple of years ago. So to finally be on it, more than anything, I'm just excited to be out there.
Wow. Yeah, good.
So that's the main thing. It's just really looking forward to it.
Just talking about that, I'm not sure who you're working, who you working with now on who's looking at your swing at the moment?
Peter Thompson.
Right. And what is it specifically that you're working on right now? Where are your strengths and your weaknesses in your game for next year?
Well, my short game's always been pretty good. I think Scott knows that. We used to have our challenges, and I would like to say I'm quite good at them. But
well, to be fair, you are now both joint TV stars, aren't you? Your videos together were awesome this year. How good were they? That's incredible.
So I mean, my short game's always been quite good. But yeah, I mean, long game, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes you just need something new, something to think about. So I mean, for me, a big thing is when I'm out there playing, I just don't want to think about much in my swing. So it's sort of like, I mean, I see him like three times a week on average, probably. So I can go up there and you can see what I'm doing. So right now, it's sort of like trying to turn a bit more and stop my swing a bit sooner. In case any of you understand. You know. I know some people see PT2, so they probably know that the stance is very important. So just working on really just trying to make me consistent, trying to make my swing just good to hold up for if I'm on the road for a few weeks, just to try and keep it consistent. So when I go out there, I don't have to think about it. So yeah, I mean, just maybe my first movement or turning and stuff. So yeah. Okay,
and so next year, European Tour. Who are the ones to watch? Who are the girls that you're going to be, who do you think is going to do well next year, apart from yourself, of course, obviously? Who are the ones that we should be looking for?
I don't really know names in specific, because there's a lot of girls. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you follow a lot of you will follow the ladies, but it seems like every week sort of a different person is doing well. Yeah. So you don't really know who's sort of in the top. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good players out there. One of my German friends that I used to travel last year, Laura Fuchsstick, she's won the tour with me last year. This year I think she's 5th or something, 4th or 5th on the Order of Merit. Okay. So there's lots of people that can sort of come up quite quick.
If you could let us know, we could let their tyres down and stuff when they're on the way to the yeah. There's loads of stuff we can do. Loads of stuff we can do.
Yeah, I might have to let you in on that.
Now, I'm going to just open it up and see if there are one or two questions that anybody in the audience would like to ask. If I've got a slight disappointment, it's when I said to you which was your favourite ever round that you didn't mention when you and I beat Scott and Colin, actually. So,
that was quite good.
That was great. I said, I'll throw the balls up. Oh, look at that, there's me and Hayley have come down there. Matt, I think that's your ball over there. No, we're fine. So I'd like to open it up. Is there, we're sort of, we're running much longer than I thought, so we won't take too long. So, but if there's any questions anybody wants to ask, any questions from anyone in the room? Yes.
I'd like to ask how difficult it was studying and playing golf when you were at university.
So just in case, because I know it's quite difficult to hear from over there, so the question was, how difficult was it to balance studying at university and playing golf at the same time? Good question, Nicky.
It's not too bad because you've got really good academic advisors. They sort of schedule you out so you don't have too many. But like a sort of typical day would be class from like 8 till 12 and then practice from 1 till 5. So they sort of set the days out so you could sort of manage all of it. But I did it in 5 years, so I sort of decided, because golf was really important to me, I wanted to do just 12 hours a semester, so it was sort of maybe one class less than a lot of the other like non-athletes. At the start it was quite hard because I wasn't used to doing both in a specific schedule. But yeah, it's not actually too bad because the academic advisors are there to help you to make sure you've sort of maybe, you have so many classes you have to take throughout your whole degree. So they make sure maybe you've got 1 or 2 tough classes and 1 or 2 of the more basic classes. So it's sort of like well mapped out, so you not struggle too much.
Yeah, very good. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Ian.
Hey, I understand that you've got a new coach and working on a new sort of fitness regime. Is there anything that we can learn from that?
Yeah.
Okay, deep breath. Hold it in.
The fitness side of it, I just started seeing Helen Seville. I just started working here a few weeks ago. I'm just trying to do the best I can to give myself the best chance next year. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff we do is the first couple of sessions sort of stretching and sort of shoulders and legs. It's been, for me, I just used to go to the gym and do stuff, whereas now it's sort of like more specific to golf stuff. But I think a lot of stretching helps. I mean, I thought I worked out a lot, but when I saw her, it was sort of like, maybe I don't do enough. So I think it's just sort of anything to keep your body sort of moving. But I mean, if it's something, for me, it's something I've never really thought about doing that extra step, but now obviously I'm on the main tour. I thought I've got a few months, so I want to get a new fitness coach so I can work on specific golf stuff, because maybe that's something that will give me the extra edge. But definitely from a few weeks, I think it is good to have that side of it. But yeah, stretching.
If you could possibly give Lonnie Danby he'll try anything to get down a single field. Gordon.
Hayley, can you tell us about the financial sort of problems that tour players have on tour? Whether or not you can get sponsorship, or whether you have to find other ways of paying your airfare, your hotel accommodation, your entry fee into the competitions?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely costs a lot. I mean, last year I worked to try and afford to play, basically. I mean, this year I've done a lot better, so it's sort of nice that I don't have to work as much in the off season. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not easy. But that doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing, because obviously when, like this year now, I've done better, it's sort of great that I've sort of done it. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously that stress behind it that you have to pay for everything like that. But I mean, it's a great support with the golf club helping me this year. I mean, that definitely helped, because it all, I mean, every little thing does a big difference. Because like this year, for example, last year I was sort of like playing again and everything, whereas this year it's sort of nice to have that financial backing for covering. So I mean, when I go out and play, I can just play. I don't have to worry about so much stuff like that. And I think it is a big thing.
Really important.
Yeah.
Peter, go on.
To what extent did it help you to play with me in the club?
I will answer that question.
Okay.
I will answer that question. First of all, I'm surprised that's not the first question that was asked. I was waiting for it. But yeah, I mean, you know, learning to play with a partner is a great thing to have.
You're awesome, Hayley. You're awesome. You are awesome. You're even better than even I thought you were.
No, sit down.
Sorry.
I'll tell you how Hayley and I got together. We were playing in a Texas Scramble. I was captain, she was one of the team. 11 years of age, off a 9 handicap. Every time I said we're going to play that ball, she said, no, I think we should play that. I'm captain, we play that. We played the 7th. Gentleman teed off, 2 ladies teed off, walked to the 7th fairway. There's only 1 ball. I said, where are the others? She said, here.
Unless there are any other burning questions, I'm going to sort of bring this to an end. Hayley, let me tell you, we are so proud of you. I cannot tell you how proud of you we are. I said in my little captain's report that I did for the year that my highest spot of the year was the round that we actually had. To watch you hit the ball so beautifully, the work you put into your game, the fact that you had a smile on your face even when we walked off 18 after playing with a couple of old hackers like Colin and I. But so it's an absolute treat. Tonight, everybody, this is our official launch of our 2020 Hayley Gold sponsorship. You know, Hayley's made the point here how having that little bit of financial support makes such a difference. It means that you can think about your golf, not about where the next airfare is coming from or a hotel bill and so on. So it's really, really important. And what I'd love to do is I'd love to double the number of gold sponsors that we've actually got involved in supporting Hayley this year. She is our shining star. I loved what Scotty had to say about her. I thought that was wonderful and really indicative of her attitude and how lovely she is when she walks around the course and interacts with members. And we as Ferndown need to be supporting her too. Hayley, before I sort of finally finish off, last word to you really, whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah, definitely. No, I would just like to say a big thanks to everyone. I mean, obviously the financial support really helps, but not just that, just everything. Like when I come up here, I feel so welcome, I always have. And it's funny because when I play now, I know the live scoring and stuff goes in. I know Stan follows me all the time, he messages me all the time. And it's funny because when I'm playing, I think, oh, because when you see the numbers, you don't know how I make the score, and I'm always like, Mum did not know how good that bogey was. And now I think there's a lot of people that think I make bogeys, and they do not understand how good I did to make that bogey. So no, but really, just big thank you so much. I really, because you supporting me means you believe in me, and that means a lot to me, and it always has, and I really do like being a part of this golf club, and I always have, and I'm a really home person, and having my home and having like a second family at this golf course, and just always feeling welcome, and I really do appreciate all your support. And I mean, you can always talk to me, even if I've got my headphones in. It doesn't mean I'm not welcome, because I know some people, no, we can't talk, she's focusing. I might be focusing, but I've been there for 2 hours. I will happily take a break to talk to you. But yeah, no, just a big thanks for everything, just the support that you've all given me. I mean, me getting to the main tour just makes me really excited about getting to represent Ferndown on a bigger level. And everything that every one of you's done, even the people that aren't here, everyone that's here, you all have been a part of me getting there, so I really do appreciate it. Just a big thank you for everyone, and big thanks for my family. They're probably going to get upset, but they really do everything. And I mean, my granddad taking me from when I was 10, and my mum coming around with me now, and my nan doesn't come with me, but I know that she's always there, and she's always on her phone. And when I'm not there, the best bit is I phone Mum, what have you been doing today? Wow, I've been on the phone to Granddad, then my other nan phone, then Dad texts me. I'm like, Mum, Dad doesn't even read text. Can you try? But no, just big thanks to everybody, and Matt, thank you very much for this evening. Just everyone for everything. I just really appreciate everything, honestly. It means a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, our wonderful, very own Hayley.